Weekend. Is everyone having a good weekend so far?
Yeah.
I don't think you'd spend Easter weekend listening to people talking about dacha, did you?
No.
That's very unchristian-like. Okay? Very unchristian-like. Okay. So, my name is Van der Weber. I'm from an NGO called Fields of Green for All, or FOGFA for short. I'm not the director, I'm just the public relations director, which means I just get to talk a lot of kak about dacha. I'm a software engineer, I'm also a stand-up comic, so I will be throwing an odd little joke in here, but this is not a comedy stand-up show. We're here to talk about FOGFA, the legal challenge about dacha and cannabis, and how you all can get involved and so on, and what the future of dacha and cannabis means for us. Now, before I go on into this a bit more, I just by a raise of hands, who here has smoked dacha today? Okay, a few of us. Who here smoked dacha this week? Pretty much the same people. Okay, so who has never smoked dacha? Put up your hand. Okay, alright. There's still time. There's still time now.
I started late though.
Okay, so who has been arrested for dacha? Okay, quite a couple of hands. Quite a couple of hands. Right, and I'm pretty sure those who've been arrested will tell you it is a cuck experience. Okay, to put it mildly and bluntly, it is not something you want to go through. For something that is essentially a victimless crime. Okay, because law states, for a crime to exist, there must be a victim. So when you're sitting at home and smoking your joint, okay, somebody 2 blocks away from you might accidentally have a heart attack and that might be you, right? No, there is no crime. Okay, so what is FOGFA all about? It's about the legalization aspect of cannabis and how we create a framework post-legalization, because we are this ballsy that we say legalization is happening. It's not a case of if it's happening, it's a case of when it's happening. Okay? And laws, you'll find out very quickly, is not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about who's got the most money. It's a very simple thing, very simple equation. I mean, we've seen people get away with murder, literally, for just having the right amount of money. So I'm pretty sure with the right amount of money, we can get a plant decriminalized, because it's not us, it's the plant that we're putting on trial. Right. So, why the name Fields of Green for All? Well, first of all, we didn't think Fields of Dacha for everyone was going to fly off the tongue quite well. So we went with Fields of Green for All because it is essentially, we want to set this plant free for everybody's use. And you'll see from the makeup of who we are as people, we're a very varied group. Currently in the NGO, we've got Myrtle Clark over there. She's the managing director of FOGFA. We've got Janine Williams and Jo van Rooyen. They are 2 admin ladies up in Joburg. They do sterling work, so all the emails that come in and everybody's that's been arrested and harmed by the police. Another question, is there any police officers here today? Because I just want to know if we can get some good weed off of them, because they seem to be selling the best stuff lately. Okay. Jo van Rooyen, she's helping us with one of our campaigns. Obviously there's me, just with shorter hair and quite handsome still. Julian Stobbs is the other part of the dacha couple. He's the director of social activism. Okay, that means he gets to party a lot, which is pretty awesome. Simon Loxton, he's our director of research and development. He is exceptionally smart when it comes to this plant and other treatment using plants like ibogaine. He's one of the only registered people in this country that can treat people with ibogaine. And we have our own William Wallace. We're going to go and take it to them. Okay. No, he's not. He also comes from a corporate background, project administration. So we're a very mixed bunch. We're not just a bunch of stoners. We've got architects involved. We've got attorneys and not in terms of the legal challenge. There are stoners and smokers from all walks of life. Sure, we have our typical stoners here and there, but as you can see, most of us are just normal people like everyone else. And the amount of CEOs and CFOs of large corporates in this country that smokes weed, you will not believe. Okay, so that's apparently how you make money. So I started smoking weed with a vengeance. Bank balance is not saying anything yet, but I'm hoping it will get it. Okay, so first a few facts about the plant. And things that we need to be straight. So that versus that. The one is what a lot of people call hemp. And the other one on the left-hand side, what some people would say is good shit.
That's beautiful.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so hemp versus cannabis. What's the difference? Nothing. Nothing. It's the same plant. It's the same plant, different cultivars. It's like grapes. Okay, you have a certain table grape, Hannepoort versus black grape. Hemp versus weed that you can smoke for recreation or for medicine. It's just how you grow it. Okay. One has got certain traits that allows it to grow really quickly, really fast, with nice strong fiber. Other one makes you go through a pizza at record speed. So each one has its own space, but there is no real argument that it's the same plant. Okay. And as you can see, that we've seen that the plant has multiple uses. There's medical, industrial, recreational, bioremediation, and I'm going to go into a little bit of that. Okay. Now, prohibition. The law against dacha. Where did this start? There's a lot of history about the plant, where it came from. Some of the earliest that came in was in the 1930s with the Marijuana Tax Act. I'm not going to go into the stuff too much. Eventually, we got the reefer madness propaganda of the 40s, and then in the same 40s, they brought out a report called the LaGuardia report that goes into actually how harmless this substance really is. So even in the 40s, they did very long, expansive studies to kind of show, look, all this hype about reefer madness and people going crazy and white women having sex with blacks and all that kind of stuff, that was the main driver. It was racism and ideologies of that time that drove people to this reefer madness, crazy dacha people, dacha smokers and so on. So prohibitionists, they have this constant mantra, that you may hear. It's what Keith also mentioned, is what about psychosis? What about the children? What about the gateway theory? I mean, who here still believes that marijuana is a gateway to heroin? No one. Good. Thank you. Because that is, there is no link that can prove that this drug causes you to crave something like heroin or mandrax or something else. That's like saying because you have a glass of milk, you're not going to crave a glass of whiskey. Okay? There's nothing chemically that can do that. So that's all nonsense. We know that the psychosis, like Keith has mentioned, there's no evidence to support that. And in fact, we know of many, many people who suffer from psychological issues that use the plant to self-medicate because the other medicines do not work for them. Okay. Right. Dacha and South Africa. Okay. Of course, in South Africa, currently dacha is on all levels, every level, it is illegal. If you are caught with it, the police will try and get you to pay an admission of guilt, okay, which may seem like a good idea at the time to get your ass out of jail, but you'll have a criminal record. Okay, that criminal record will prevent you from traveling. That criminal record may prevent you from getting a job. That criminal record, it's on you for a lifetime. Okay, for what? For having a joint, growing a few plants, for having nature in your backyard. It is ridiculous. Okay, so currently in this video footage, I'll give you the clip from this. This is a footage that Myrtle and Jules shot up in Ponderland. It's where the police in this year still sprayed. Who's seen this clip in this footage? Just show of hands. It's horrifying stuff. Okay, where the police are still spraying crops since the year 2000. They've been spraying it annually. They've been spraying a weed killer called Kilo Max. This is glyphosate, which has come out again and again. It is a cancer-causing agent. It is not safe for humans. It's not safe for animals. It's a contaminant. And this is just a little bit of a funny tidbit on the side. This is a Monsanto rep who is selling the glyphosate-based product, and this journalist asked him, if you're saying that it is so safe for human consumption and you can drink a glass, here's a glass. Drink it. And he refused. Okay, so, and then you can see that's the millies right there was destroyed. So this is people who literally have no other means of income. Nothing. Okay? They're subsistence farmers. The only money that they make is from the little bit of cannabis that they sell into the South African market and further into it. And it's taken away. Okay, this is not humane. This is not what a civilized society should be about. Okay? No matter what your stance is on cannabis or your feelings about it, killing people's food sources is just not fun. Okay. Right, so some of the uses, and here's a very little interesting fact. Most places or in most governments say, cannabis has no medical applications. It's a class Schedule 1 drug. Yet most of you would have heard about this patent, right? This is a US patent held by, you'll see there on the right-hand side, the United States of America as represented by the Department of Health and Human Services. They hold a patent on cannabis as a neuroprotectant, which says it protects brain cells. Hence, there you see people treating it, treating things like any neurological disorders, Alzheimer's. So anything that's got to do with epilepsy, etc. That's why it's such an effective one. And they've known for quite some time. You can see that was filed in 1999. Okay, and this is publicly available. You can go pull this patent and you can see it for yourself. Just goes to show the hypocrisy of the system.